this is Dominic Huff out here with Andre Walker from Georgia Unfiltered and the Homebrew News. I'm sitting here with Roberta Abdul-Salaam. This woman right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the one that has raised the most noise that we could not leave without speaking to Roberta, because Roberta has done so much, from calling for a non-binding referendum, got the data, and said, where the data, she got you the data, and they just settled. Then she helped lobby to try to lift the sales tax scale. They did that, still didn't do nothing. So then Roberta started the Friends of Clayton Transit. We got a lot of people together from the Sierra Club, the NAACP, all the other organizations down here to bring it together. And now we're sitting here with her at, now we got a 0.5%. And how do you feel about that?
Well, I feel that you get a half a penny, you get half the service.
Yeah.
You get half a penny, you get half the commitment. You get half, you know, what they say, 99 and a half won't do. I don't want us to be set up for another failure. The commission has told us repeatedly that the reason they closed C-TRAN down was because they could not afford it. That was an $8 million to $10 million a year budget for C-TRAN. If you could not afford that, and that's the reason you shut down, and we passed legislation not once but twice to get you $49 million a year with this 1 cent sales tax, why then would you say, well, oh, we just need half of it? Because if you set yourself up for failure, if you couldn't afford it before, with the economy changing, with the growth coming into the county, with all of the growth at the airport, what's to say that we're not going to fail again in 5, 6, 7 years because we don't have enough money? I'd rather see us take the full penny, store the money, and draw interest on the other until we are ready to use it, but at least we built up a reserve. That to me makes the logical sense. That makes sound financial, economic sense. And why the commission does not have the wisdom to see that vision, I don't understand. Once the interest was protected, and when I say the interest, the commission members, some of the commission members were concerned that MARTA would take our money, quote unquote, and use it for other services in other areas, Fulton, DeKalb, or Atlanta. And we were able to negotiate language in the contract that said we will not, we cannot, we shall not use any of the Clayton money towards any other projects until we have fulfilled all requirements for Clayton County. That's a binding agreement. And once MARTA came back and agreed to that, everything we needed was protected. So I'm very disappointed that we didn't get the full penny tonight, but yet and still we've got 4 or 5 days, you know, that we may still get some movement on that. We're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work.
And that's why I like to hear, because July 6th is the drop dead date for everything. So a lot can happen. We know we had a special call meeting here and there, so it's been a lot of special call meetings. So some people said that this will probably be another special call meeting to revisit this issue again, to try to go ahead and get that full penny.
I hope so. And one thing we know is that the interest from the community, when we issue the call, they come. There has been nothing but sound support from throughout this county. All of the feasibility studies, all of the committee meetings they've had, all of the hearings they've had, the citizens of Clayton County have turned out and they voiced their opinions. And the feasibility study actually spoke to what we already knew from 2010. In 2010, nearly 70% of the citizens voted, yes, we will pay the 1 penny, yes, we will join MARTA. The citizens already voted on the non-binding referendum saying that. The language would be exactly the same in this November referendum. The other thing is that with the feasibility study came back in the report from them, guess what? 80% of the citizens agreed that we need transit and we would pay the 1 cent for MARTA. So again, you know, you paid $200,000 for a feasibility study. Why not listen to what the study said?
Now, some of the commissioners tonight, they said they were concerned that at 8% that would make Clayton County less competitive with Fulton County and Fayette County, which has 7% sales tax. What's your response to that?
My response to that is that there's 45 counties in the state of Georgia today that are at 8%. They're not losing anything. There are 45 counties already at 8%. The other 104 counties are at 7%. The other thing is that 65% of the money generated from that 1 cent sales tax will come from the airport, will come from people traveling through the county, buying and vending at the airport. So again, it's not going to be an extreme burden on the citizens of Clayton. And here's the other reality. We drive now to Lenox. We drive now to Atlanta. Atlanta has 8 cents. How many of you don't know people that will go all the way to Atlanta to eat good food? Mm-hmm. Will go all the way to Atlanta to shop. They go all the way to Atlanta for the sporting events and the concerts. And Atlanta has been at 8% for years. Nobody's running from that. Atlanta is growing. And so I don't think we need to stand behind that or hide behind that. I think we have the opportunity to do what's going to be a long-term investment for this county and for the citizens, and we ought to take it.
Your former colleague, Senator Gail Davenport, she said that the 0.5% that was approved tonight was a smokescreen by other commissioners, basically to vote down transit.
I agree.
Do you agree with that?
I agree. I think that they know that that's what's going to happen. That's the potential for shutting down the whole deal. And then they can point the finger and say, well, it wasn't us, it was MARTA.
And that's the whole global football game they play once again when it comes to transit. And that's why a lot of us in the media tell you, you got to get involved, you got to get engaged, to where it was just one vote that could have flipped that the entire way around.
We'd have a whole different conversation with one vote.
So what's the next steps? I know July the 4th is Friday. Some of the commissioners may be skipping town, but they can, as Dominique said, they can also do a special called meeting. What are the next steps? How do we get back up to the full 1%?
Well, one of the things is that MARTA is going to be meeting in the morning, and some of us will probably be there to see what that outcome is. The other thing is that we will continue our advocacy in the community and showing our support to the commissioners, to all of the commissioners, for the full 1 cent. We will continue that. We will continue that until, July the 7th, July the 10th. We will continue that.